Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe and I'm here at Old Trafford for the news this morning. A rather splendid Old Trafford, if I may say so myself, rather than having to use my eyebrows as umbrellas like I did last time I was here. But today we are going to be looking at Jack Grealish. Has Jack Grealish basically scuppered his own transfer by keeping Aston Villa in the Premier League? That's got to be a difficult one to swallow for Jack Grealish. If so, he's basically doubled his own transfer fee to the point where if they want 80 million for him, good luck getting it. But this one, like I said, is coming from Sky Sports, it's coming from the Times. This one is all over the place and we're looking, like I said, at Jack Grealish's brand new, apparently, transfer fee. United unlikely to sign Grealish after Villa survival. It now looks unlikely that Manchester United will try to sign Jack Grealish in this window, even though Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a big admirer of the Aston Villa captain, writes Sky Sports, if that is a single person. Premier League survival means the cost for any club wanting to buy Jack Grealish has increased significantly, and as I said, this is in Sky Sports, this is in the Times, this has been reported in all of those high reliability source places, you know the ones. Premier League survival means the cost for any club wanting to buy Grealish from Villa has increased significantly. Villa bosses were bracing themselves for a flurry, not a McFlurry, a flurry of offers in fact, if they had been relegated, and it's clear that Jack Grealish himself would have, albeit with a heavy heart, pushed for a move out of his boyhood club so he could remain playing at the top level. I like the albeit with a heavy heart, like it's written by him. That inevitably would have forced down the asking price for Grealish's signature. Now, and hear this, it's thought it would take an offer in excess, not the band, of £80 million to tempt Villa's bosses to the negotiating table. That's just to get him to the table. That's the holding fee on the table. It's like China White or something. You can't pay 80 million quid just to get someone to the negotiating table. Of course, what that means is you've got to be saying, we'll give you 80 million quid for Jack Grealish, or they'll just laugh you out of town. That's too much, isn't it? Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me think, if you think that Jack Grealish is worth 80 million, could this potentially be a little bit of posturing from Aston Villa? Like I said, 80 million to get to the negotiating table doesn't even make sense, does it? Because he's not surely worth the same amount as Jadon Sancho, someone who, in terms of goals and assists, has absolutely tore it up in Germany for the last couple of seasons. Like I said, he's also, he's 24 as well, which is a young player. He's a player that knows how good he is. He's a maturing player, and obviously there's some improvement there. But he's not someone that is going to, double or sort of triple those numbers, I don't think, in the next few years. He'd be a great option. He'd be a great backup. He'd be a great rotation, and not necessarily just rotation, but maybe an accompaniment to either Paul Pogba or Bruno Fernandes. But I think for £80 million, you want that person to be coming in, being one of the best players, if not the best player in any given position. So the fee seems a little bit high to me. Let me know what you think. Next up then, and this is coming from Paul Hurst from the Times, and this is Manchester United's four-man shortlist for centre-back options. It's grown increasingly apparent as the season has gone on that United centre-back options are a little bit thin. Eric Bailly coming back to fitness but not necessarily coming back to form. Lindelof and Maguire both garnering a lot of criticism over the season as well. The likes of Axel Tuanzebe, who hasn't been available through injury. Phil Jones, who again, as we know, is unreliable physically. Marcus Rojo seems to believe in, Chris Smalling seems to believe in, and it looks as though actually, despite spending 85 million, a world record fee on Harry Maguire last summer, we may need more reinforcements at centre-back. So, this shortlist then, it includes Nathan Ake, as we've talked about before on the show. We've also got Pau Torres, the 23-year-old Villarreal defender, who apparently is also of interest to Manchester City. And every single time that United just fights City for a player, a la Alexis Sanchez, as we saw with Fred, we always come out on top, and all of those transfers always work out absolutely every single time. Apparently, though, he is one of those being targeted. And again, like I said before, as is Bournemouth defender Nathan Ake. It says a four-man shortlist there, but I can only see two names on that article, and the other two names have been rumoured to be Kalidou Koulibaly. They've also been rumoured to be Milan Skriniar. Jan Vertonghen has been mentioned. All sorts of people have been mentioned, because that's 5 players now, so it can't be all 5 of them. I don't know if Jan Vertonghen would necessarily make the list, but it does seem as though United are after a centre-back target. And of those names mentioned, we've got Ake, we've got Torres, we've got Koulibaly, and we've also got Skriniar. Who is it that you're wanting at home? I think it's Koulibaly's priced himself out of a move for so many years now, hasn't he? If we're talking about Grealish being too expensive, then wanting 120 million quid for Kalidou Koulibaly, a player who, as good as he looks in Italy, has never really won particularly much of anything. Is he going to continue to be an elusive sort of transfer target? Are they still going to want 100 million for a player who I think is 29 years old now? Nathan Ake, another one who's been linked very strongly with Manchester City, but I doubt they will be getting Ake and Torres, so that may leave the way for the Villarreal man. It's difficult. It's a difficult decision, isn't it? Let me know who you think United need to sign at centre-back in the comments below. Finally then, Jesse Lingard has come out on social media and sort of addressed his poor form in recent months, and with a sort of heartfelt Instagram post, he has gone on to say that this season has been difficult for so many reasons. I lost who I was as a player and as a person, but I never wanted to give up. I knew who I was on and off the pitch, and I knew that having been there before, I could get there again. He goes on to say that this team, this club is my family, and I will continue to keep working harder than ever to help this team achieve its goals. Now, Jesse Lingard has been someone who's been linked with a move away alongside the likes of Andreas Pereira. He's been in the club for such a long time now, obviously coming through in that youth team with Paul Pogba, with Ravel Morrison. We all know about that team. And he's gone through a difficult patch over the last 18 months. Before, let's not forget, before that was, one of United's sort of best players under the late Mourinho era. So he has addressed in the past difficulties that he'd been having with family health problems and mental health problems. So it's a difficult one with Jesse Lingard, because obviously, like I said, he's been here for such a long time and he's an academy product, which people like to say, well, that shouldn't matter, but it does matter. Because he's from Manchester and he plays for Manchester United, he's a Manchester United fan. I think that should give you a little bit of an extra boost when it comes to fans' favouritism and whether a player should be given an extra chance. And I'm personally in favour of giving Jesse an extra chance. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that this is maybe a goodbye from Jesse Lingard, a sort of an addressing of the recent poor run of form, or do you think that this is him trying to galvanise a new chapter in his career? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know whether you think Jesse Lingard deserves another chance after a 98th minute goal against Leicester at the weekend. Is it time to give Jesse Lingard another year to see what he can do? Right, that's going to be all from me this morning here at Old Trafford. Make sure you check out the season review that we have been doing the last time we were here, absolutely pissing it down. So if you just want to laugh at us getting rained on whilst we talk about how Manchester United's players have performed this season, make sure you check that out this afternoon. Also, make sure you check out the Tier 1 podcast with James Cooper that went out last night.
You spoke about how basically we've already qualified for the Champions League and we're going into the Europa. How seriously do you think United will actually take the competition? Do you think youngsters will get a bit of an opportunity, or do you think this is basically a trophy that we're going to go in to win?
Yeah, I think it's a nice situation to be in. Had yesterday all gone wrong, and there were moments in that Leicester game where I thought, oh, blimey, it is going to go wrong, and thankfully it didn't. Then suddenly it puts a lot of pressure on to win the Europa League and do what Jose did and get into the Champions League by that route. Now, they'd have to do that. The pressure is off. The players are going to be given a few days rest, come back into Carrington. They've got a gimme in terms of the game against Lask being 5-0 up, so we can afford to sprinkle that with a little bit of youth and make rotations.
Great interview there with him, and all the other Tier 1 news summed up as well by Jay and Ronaldo, so check that out if you haven't already. That's going to be all from me. See you in a bit.